Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, everybody, for attending today's webinar. Welcome to our January edition of PopYS Live, Summer in the Small Library. And I'm going to pull my chat screen so I can see everybody and see who's chatting. So welcome to everybody on this cold January day, and we'll get started. Um, so, for those of you that are new to youth librarianship or librarianship in general, I want to extend a warm welcome to you, especially on this cold day. And for everyone else also, my name is Janeé Jackson Doring. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. Down below on your screen is my phone number and email. Please reach out. I would love to talk to you about your youth programming at your library. And a lot of people that see me, they know that when I stop by, I bring a goodie bag of books for you to keep. So please feel free to reach out, contact me for any youth related questions or concerns. Since we're talking about summer in the small library today, I wanted to share some pictures of my first job as a youth service librarian. I started in 2011 at Mount Pleasant Public Library in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. So I came from Davenport, Iowa, which is a pretty big town, and I moved to Mount Pleasant for my first job as a youth service librarian. And one of the programs that I held there was a fancy Nancy party. Isn't it cute, Victoria? I'm seeing in your comment, cutest idea. Yes. Um, this was held in June 2012, and I wanted to do something that celebrated a book character. Um, and so we had a fancy Nancy party. I read the story to the kids. I did require pre-registration because we had supplies and we wanted to make sure we had enough supplies. But after after we read the story, the kids got to make their own crowns. So they got to make their crowns. I think there was like it's kind of some type of like plastic material to make the crowns. Um, but we had gems, we had tissue paper, we had different types of things that the kids could glue onto their crowns. We also served lemonade, and I think we had like cookies, if I remember right. I know we had cookies, but we also had lemonade. Um, and the kids got to pose in their crowns. We had about, I think it was like 60 to 70 kids show up. And I have to tell you, I even had a child and their parent from Iowa City call me and say, "Hey, we just heard about your program. I know you had registration, but can we come?" And I said, "Yes, they're making the effort. You're making the effort to drive all the way from Iowa City to Mount Pleasant. Yes." So we had enough supplies, and so we had a really nice time. For your library, best practice, put on a book character party or day at your library. You could do this with Bluey. Bluey's a big popular character. You could do this with any type of character, or even like for boys, dinosaurs. You could have a dinosaur themed party or day at your library, and maybe you have different activity stations. It's a great way to involve all ages. It's a great way to get all ages coming to your programs and doing all the activities at once. So feel free to use that idea of having a Fancy Nancy party. And there was a Fancy Nancy book that came out last year that you could read to the kids as well. And I'm seeing some comments. Yes, Nancy from Guttenberg said we did a Frozen party. Yes, lots of engagement. Orange City says they did have Bluey during their Tulip Festival, and they had 700 people come. It was overwhelming, but fun. Yes. There's something about Bluey. I just don't know, but kids love Bluey. So, today's agenda, we're going to talk about the iREAD resource guide and and I'll share a little bit of some graphics tips. I'm also going to talk about programming and your reading challenges or your reading logs, what to do and so forth. I'm also going to talk about building your core group of kids. What do I mean by that? Building that base of kids that you have at your library so you continue that engagement and you continue building that relationship and rapport to them being just from tiny kids to tweens and teens that come to your library. I'm also going to talk about partnership opportunities, some ideas, and I'm also going to touch a little bit on donations because I'm hearing that a lot and I'd like to just address that more. And I'll share some upcoming events. So, first off, we're going to talk about iREAD. We're going to talk about the resource guide and graphics tips. And I have to tell you, once upon a time in 2011, I started planning my first summer reading program. And I was fresh out of library school from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and I had moved to Mount Pleasant, and I was introduced to themes. So planning your summer reading program around a theme. And at the time, the library had received the manual from the state library. So what did I do? And it was, by the way, the manual was on a CD. So that's the picture, or that's a picture of a CD. That's why I put it there. The guides used to be on CDs. So what did I do? I printed out the entire thing. I got my 3-ring binder, printed the entire guide out, got the heavy duty 3-hole punch, punched all the papers, and sorted them in my binder by categories because I'm very, very particular. I like to sort things and organize things. Um, so I got all that put together, and I got my notebook, highlighter, and a pen because I love highlighters and I love pens. And I just started brainstorming some cool ideas that I knew my kids and teens were interested in. But when you go, or in the past, when I went to go print this resource guide, this guide, it was huge. It was just huge. And when I saw how thick this guide was and all the chapters, I thought to myself, oh man, I think I might be way over my head here. Because back at that time, the guide had kids programs, teen programs, and adults just scrunched into one big, huge file. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is kind of way over my head. And I also thought, man, I must have killed several trees printing this thing. Um, so it was overwhelming to me. And as I got through my first summer reading and went through lots more summer readings, both in the small library and in the big library when I moved to Des Moines for Des Moines Public Library, I found ways to kind of condense what I just needed to plan my programs. So the resource guide has gone through a lot of changes. It's been on a CD where you download and print everything. It's been on a flash drive where you download and print everything. And now we send you the code and then you download it to your computer. And when you download it, you see for the resource guide, it'll be all PDFs. And so you just look at all these PDFs and you're like, what do I do? So what should I do? What should I really be paying attention to? We got you covered. So what should you do? Best advice or best guidance, I should say to you, print out the sections that you're going to use. Just print out those main sections that you're going to use. Because if you print out the whole thing, the whole resource guide, and you don't use all of it, it is a waste of paper. Just flat out being honest there. So print out the sections you know you're going to use in your planning. And it is okay if you don't use every idea in the guide. There are a ton of ideas. There's lots of ideas to choose from and look through. It's okay if you don't use every idea. It's okay. If you want, You could save those ideas for your after school programs or other programs. Maybe in the fall or winter when winter's kind of a dead time. Maybe you pull out those ideas that you wanted to use for summer, for winter, or for spring, or for fall. That's the beauty of the resource guide, is that it has so many programs and so many ideas that you don't have to do all of them at once. You can pick the ones you think that are really going to work best for your community and with your kids, teens, or adults, and the ones that you're like, oh, we don't have time for that, or oh, this would really be good for this fall activity. Save it. It's okay to do that. And use the guide as a jump start for ideas. It's a good resource to just get your creative juices thinking and flowing. So use it as a jump start. Don't use it as the one solve all to end all. Just use it as your base, as a jump start for ideas, because there's ideas everywhere, from the resource guide to Pinterest to other libraries, just talking to other libraries. So there's ideas everywhere. But I'm going to share some more tips. So, best practice when you open up the Getting Started page, it's on page 2. Getting started, you'll see this. It'll say using this guide. The chapters are organized by activity. So there's getting started, fundraising, publicity, promotions, decorations, displays. There's program development, programming, arts and crafts, DIY, maker projects, program contributions, bibliographies, other resources, graphics preview, and appendices. It's a lot. Here's what you can do to save time. Focus on these items that are in yellow to the left of your screen, because this is what I hear a lot from librarians, both in the chat, on Library Talk, on the Summer Library Program Survey, and in person when I have summer reading summits. So I want you to focus on these items. You're looking for asking for donations or sponsorships and how to do that. Read pages 7 to 10. Promoting the library. So section 1C, promotion. What do you do to promote the library? Read pages 27 through 34. Decorations and display ideas. I hear this a lot. I don't know how to decorate my library. I don't know a book display. I don't know what to do. Focus on pages 41 to 48. This is going to save you time. So that way you can just find those sections, read, grab the content, absorb the content, and then plan as you see fit. So focus on those items. Don't worry, there's some other items I want you to focus on as well. Some more items to just focus on and read up on. Programming. Programming pages 103 to 180. That is going to be a big bulk of your time for planning and getting program ideas. The best part of that section, it already has story time plans made up and ready to go for you. You don't have to do the work. All you have to do is pick the theme from, and they have so many different themes for Plant a Seed Read this year. They have so many different themes. You can just pick the theme you want to read and share with the kids, reserve the books, and you're ready to go. So check out programming on pages 103 to 180. It has already made story time plans. It has craft ideas, some craft ideas. There's puzzles, there's coloring pages that you can print out. Why reinvent the wheel? Grab those puzzles, grab those coloring pages, print them out. You can put those out as a passive activity or a take home for kids after story time. So definitely check out that programming section. And they have a mix of children's activities, teen activities, and adult activities in that programming section. So just a FYI. Arts and crafts, DIY maker projects, you're going to want to check out pages 253 to 302. They have a plethora of craft ideas for from kids all the way to all ages. Um, the picture at the bottom left corner um, is the picture of what the programming section looks like. So that's the cover. And then this perler bee cactus craft is an example of a program activity in the programming section. Um, so definitely take a peek at those sections. You're going to focus on those sections as you plan out your summer reading activities for kids, teens, and adults. Another item that I hear a lot, I don't know where the bibliographies are. I need a book display idea. Where are the bibliographies? I didn't know that you had any. This guide has you covered. Focus on pages 347 to 376. That picture underneath is a sample of what the bibliography lists look like. They have it categorized by actual, how should I put this? The subject or category. So the category for this one is bibliography for young gardeners, and then at the underneath it, it'll have board books, picture books, middle grade, teen, adult. Um, and so you'll just go through and you'll find, oh, hey, there's a bibliography for adults on weeding or weeding your garden. And then they'll have the list of books, of nonfiction books for adults. But it has a mix of fiction and nonfiction titles. And there's other resources that they added in there as well, such as DVDs and such. So take a peek at those items because these items will help you in planning your summer reading programs. Another best practice tip, are you guys familiar with the iREAD recordings? Um, and you can answer in the chat, yes, no, maybe, maybe so. Some of you I've seen at the webinars. Let me see. Yes, good. Awesome. So some of you have, okay, some of you have seen them. Okay. And oh, not yet. Belicia says not yet. Okay. So, for those of you that are not familiar, iRead put together recorded resource guide deep dive webinars. They dive deep into the resource guide and they pull out different types of activities that you can do with kids, teens, and adults. They did a really good job. Becca is awesome. Becca Bolin, who's the content manager. Um, you can go to their website, and the website is down below in the bottom left corner. Um, Go to that website and you click watch the webinar. Um, the iRead Showcase just tells you what the theme is about, but you really want to go to the resource guide deep dive. So the programming, crafts, maker ideas, um, tips and tricks, go to that webinar. They also have another webinar, which they haven't put up yet on their website, but it was about displays and decor. Um, so check this website, watch the webinar, because you'll get a lot more tips from that as well. And if you do watch these webinars, please let us know so that way we can award you credit as well. And yes, they do record. Yes, Nancy says haven't attended but saw that they have them. If recorded, I'd watch. Yes, all of their webinars are recorded. So good question. Good comment. Thank you. With the graphics, I know downloading graphics can be tricky. It can be very tricky. Um, so when you download the graphics, it'll say art and graphics. You'll click on that folder. And at the bottom left corner, you'll see this artwork. You'll see these items, excuse me. 2026 badges, bonus art, posters, spot art. I working with iRead, I like the spot art a lot. I've used the spot art for a lot of the Canva templates that we offer from the state library For me, the spot art is easy to use. You could use it on flyers. You could use it for reading logs or reading challenges. If you're making your own items on Canva, it's pretty easy to add, to download and move it into the upload portion of Canva to use. And there's a lot of different spot art because there's three artists this year, but they also added some more content from another artist from last year. So for the spot art, a good best practice is to use the spot art for posters, flyers, for your reading logs. It's pretty easy to use. The image up at the top is the child reading to farm animals. I love it. It's adorable. It's super duper cute. That's probably one of my favorite images of this year. Um, with the badges, so the top right corner, if you click on badges, 2026 badges, it will appear with these items. 2026 no numbers badges, no numbers badges GS, which is grayscale. GS stands for grayscale. And then there's numbered badges and then number badges GS or grayscale. So you can do a multitude of different things. You can use the grayscale items. You could print them out and have the kids color them as coloring sheets if you want. For the no numbered badges, you could use those for button making. If you have a button maker at your library, you can cut out or have a volunteer or a library aide or whatnot, have them cut out the circles and make buttons to promote your summer reading program or give those away as little prizes for a program. But yes, for the grayscale, you could print out grayscale artwork and have the kids color them or use them as art projects or collage projects for the kids. Victoria from Orange City says they use the spot art to create buttons for the teen volunteers. Absolutely. So there's different things you could do with the graphics. The other thing I'd like to point out, if you are having issues downloading any of the items, contact iREAD. And I would recommend contacting them via email. They respond to email faster. They're usually on the road traveling for different types of showcases or whatnot. So if you have issues, contact them via email, and it's iRead at ila.org. Okay, we're going to switch gears because I'm trying to look at time and be mindful of time. I'd like to talk about programming and reading challenges or reading logs. So here we go. So programming. So you've downloaded the resource guide and you start to look at programming, but you're like, okay, how do I find and select programs in the guide? What do I do? I have no idea what I'm doing. No worries, it's totally fine. Best practice, you're on page 2 of the Getting Started page. You're going to use these icons to select age-appropriate programs for your summer reading program. Um, so for those of you that are new, it's totally okay. These icons stand for different things. EL is early literacy, so roughly your 0 to 5. Children, that's roughly your 5 to about 11, 12. Teen, ages 12 to 18. Adult, family, so programs for the whole family, or double A, which stands for all ages. So you'll use these icons as you're looking through the programming and arts and crafts sections. You will use these icons to help you select programs for your summer reading program. But I want to just say this also. Bef while you're looking through the resource guide, or if you haven't touched it yet, because I know small libraries, you may be starting now to plan, and that's totally okay. Um, if you have a program that you know that you want to hold for kids, teens, or adults, and it doesn't match the theme, it's okay. Do it. It is totally fine. If you want to have a dog man party at your library, do it. If you want to hold a Bluey or Minecraft party at your library, do it. It is totally okay. You don't have to have programs that match the theme. It's whatever your community wants and what they're asking for. And best practice when I was at Mount Pleasant Public Library, for me, best practice was for at that time was to select all ages double A, or I call it double A, select all ages program ideas. I found that I got a lot of families coming in that didn't know what the library had to offer. And I personally love the all ages programming aspect because it's great for the whole family. Families can drop in for the activity or the program. It's easier to plan for, and all ages can complete the activity at once. So, and yes, teen programs especially don't need to match. You're right, Victoria. They want to do what they want to do. Absolutely. That's right. And I've said that before. Yes, they do not care necessarily about a theme. They're just there for the activity and they're there for it. So thank you, Victoria. Spot on. Some ideas, some examples of some all ages program activities. I thought this was cool, having a DIY mosaic stepping stones. This is from momalwaysfindsout.com. But it was super cool. It had the concrete mix, and kids of all ages can make their own stepping stone. And I put down two different websites on how you can do it. There's the Lowe's website on how to make concrete stepping stones, and the Mom Always Finds Out. But I think that would be a great activity for all ages to come and make their own stepping stone, especially for the plant a seed read theme or just any theme. Van Meter Public Library, and I'm seeing this a lot, tiny art programs. Tiny art programs are popping up, especially here in the Des Moines Metro. Um, Tiny art programs. That's where you get the tiny canvases and the tiny canvas holder, excuse me. And kids and teens can come and just paint or create. You put out the supplies and they paint and create, and you can display at the library. They had theirs displayed on top of their bookshelves. So they can make it at the library or take it home, make it, bring it back. Um, but it's a great way for kids and teens to express their creativity. And again, all ages, great for the whole family. Some more examples of all ages programs. Character bingo events. I loved hosting different types of character bingo events. At Southside Library, where I was came from, I held bingo, Pokemon bingo, and let me tell you, kids and tweens lost their mind. And I had teens attend Pokemon bingo. I had 75 kids in the room, and I couldn't take any more because we ran out of bingo cards. Um, so consider having a character bingo event at your library where kids or tweens can play rounds of bingo and for small prizes. Um, I know they offer templates on Etsy and Pinterest. But if you want to make your own, you can make your own bingo templates. You can go on Canva and make your own bingo templates. There is a bingo program where you can make your own bingo templates. I can't remember the website specifically, but that's something you could do as well. Star Wars bingo is very popular. It was always popular here in Des Moines. I've seen Harry Potter bingos. You could do any type of bingos. Joni says from Colos, they do a themed family bingo. Yes, you could do a plant bingo. She does a plant bingo. All prizes are plant related. This weekend they're doing a book bingo, and all prizes are book related. Absolutely. Bondurant also does a bingo as well, and they give away books as well. Some other ideas, you could do a minute to win it games. This would be popular with your tweens. Training camps. So maybe you have Percy Jackson training camp. What would that look like? Where the tweens could go to different stages, different activity stages, and they do different types of activities. Ah, you're doing one next week, Victoria. That's awesome. Can you tell us what you're doing? Percy Jackson. Awesome. I did a Percy Jackson too, and it was a lot of fun. So training camps. Look at what type of books are out right now. You've got Percy Jackson, you got Hunger Games, you have all these different types of books. Maybe you come up with a training camp that your kids and tweens go through. STEM activities, slime making. I love slime. I am a girl that loves slime. I love getting messy with slime. And I know parents were happy because they're like, I get to do it at the library and not home. But slime programs, slime making, loads of fun. Runs. You can have the kids make marble runs with pool noodles, or different types of things. Balloon Olympics. See if they can do different types of activities with balloons, especially since the Winter Olympics are coming up. That'd be fun to do maybe in the summer. Make and take crafts. Make and take crafts are never out of style. Messy art programs. Programs, you can't go wrong. Minecraft party programs. Minecraft is still popular. You could have a Minecraft party program at your library. Lego clubs. I had a Lego club at Mount Pleasant, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yes, Lego clubs are popular too. Victoria says they're going to do a Hunger Games party next fall with the new movie. Absolutely. Very cool. Stuffed animal sleepovers. I am seeing a lot of libraries do a lot of stuffed animal sleepovers, both last year and the year before. This is a post from Whitmore, Iowa Rocks on their Facebook page. But Whitmore Public Library had a library sleepover. And Joy, the librarian, posted this last year, but shows all the kids brought their stuffies, and you can tag them with your child's name and phone number, or maybe the name of the parent. And they have they have it where volunteers or whomever from the library have the animals do different things. So uh, looks like the Paw Patrol's looking at the all computers. They're sitting on a couch. They could be in your checkout room. They could be in the workroom. They could be on top of books. There's so many fun things you could do with stuffed animal sleepovers. Yes, Joy is in the room too. Awesome. She says it was very fun. Yes, they are super fun. You could take pictures and give them to the caregivers to show what Chase the dog was doing while your friends are sleeping. So consider a stuffed animal sleepover. If you go on Library Talk, you can see about stuffed animal sleepovers. If you just type in stuffed animal sleepovers, there's a plethora of information, and you can contact Indianola. Indianola hosted it. Looks like Jonathan had one at Van Meter and Whitmore. You contact those libraries, see how they did it, and you could do this at your library too. Another best practice is to offer some passive programs. Guessing jars. I noticed that some libraries, smaller libraries, are doing guessing jars. Oxford Public Library had a guessing jar in their community. But you just put some items in the jar, and kids or teens have to guess how many of an item is in that jar. And the closest guess, they win that item in the jar. And it can be done with anything. There's pictures of jelly beans. There's a picture of Legos. I think that one on the right is peanuts. Cheeto Puffs. I've seen those big jars of Cheeto Puffs that you see at the store. You could do Cheeto Puffs. You could do anything, or I'm trying to think, M&Ms. You could do a plethora of things you could put in a jar. This idea to your right, I really like this idea. I saw this at Central Library during their banned books week, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's shredded book in a jar, but the teen or adults, they have to guess the name of the book based off the clues from the text. So you have to read the clues, read parts of the book, and guess what the book is. And I can't remember. I think the librarian shredded, I think they had like shredded, like weeded copies of, I think one was Hunger Games, one was The Hate You Give, um, and some other books. But I thought that's a really cool idea, very fun and engaging, gets teens and adults guessing and talking about what they think the book is. And maybe you put the answer on the bottom of the jar if they get really stuck. Create some high interest polls for tweens. I'm talking a lot about tweens because I know teens are come and go in a small library. So I want you to focus on the tweens. So roughly that 8 to 11-year-old age range. So create high interest polls for them. Um, why? It builds interest. It builds engagement. It gets them talking. This picture is from School Library Journal, and the picture to your left, they had the library there had a whiteboard and a whiteboard poll, and they wrote, "What should we name this dog?" And the tweens just wrote anything that came to mind. But it was a good way to get them talking and to just interact. Um, the other picture to your right, it says, "Can't decide what your next read will be? Pick a star from our star jar." And they can pick a star from the star jar, and it's color coded. So they would, if they picked a blue star, they'd pick a mystery. If they got a pink star, it's a romance. If they got an orange star, it's realistic fiction. Um, Again, this is just a way to build engagement, to get tweens talking, to get them interested, and just to have them open up and create some dialogue between you and them. Also, for summer reading, maybe you consider having a tween photo or a contest drawing, or a drawing contest, excuse me. At Mount Pleasant, I did this with my tweens and the teens, and if memory serves me right, they could enter any type of drawing or photo. Mostly, I received a lot of drawings. I do remember that. And I think the prize that we gave was that I talked to the local movie theater owner in Mount Pleasant, and we were able to get tickets for tweens to go to a movie. And I think the movie at that time was either the Avengers or I can't remember, but it was a really popular movie. And so you could talk to your local theater owner and ask if they'd be willing to donate tickets for a prize for a photo or drawing contest at the library. Now, I know all these programs sound fun and they sound great, but my the best practice that I could give to you, don't overprogram. Do not overprogram. You will burn yourself out, and you have to keep in mind your staff. You have to keep in mind how much you can do, how much your staff can do, because summer is a very busy time. So program within your limits. Plan activities based on what your community is asking for. What are your kids asking for? What are your adults asking for? So plan with those ideas in mind and make the length of your summer reading program however you want. So it doesn't have to be this big, huge 3 month thing. If you can only do a month, okay. If you can only do a month and a half, fine. It's however you make this program see fit. And also check community calendars, your sports schedules, check your county fair calendars. Check to make sure that the event you want to hold is not during any other big event, because nothing says so sad and bummed out when you put money and time into a program and oh my gosh, the county fair's that week. Nobody's coming. So do your due diligence. Check those community calendars, your sports schedules, your county fair calendars. And I'm just showing you some examples of the lengths of summer reading programs from different small libraries. This is Correctionville Public Library. They are size B. Their program was July 14th through August 23rd. They had craft activities on Mondays and Thursdays. They had, looks like Dorothy Peakout with animals on one day, and they had Siouxland agriculture on another day. So they planned it where they had crafts on Mondays and Thursdays. Maybe you plan it where you have crafts on every Wednesday is craft messy art day, or Mondays are tween art club, or Tuesdays Lego club every Tuesday. Um, so this is just an example of what Correctionville did for their library. This is Whitmore Public Library, their size A library. This is their calendar of events. They had summer reading program activities. They had Jonathan May, the magician. They had also the county camp, which I'll talk about that in a bit. And their program was in June, and they also had a summer library pizza party. So this is an example of their calendar for their program last year. Fort Atkinson. This is Fort Atkinson Public Library. They're size A. All of their events were held in July and August. Again, each library is different on how they plan it based on what's going on in their community. Maybe they have softball tournaments or baseball tournaments all throughout June. So they're going to plan their summer reading program in July. It's just based on what's going on in their community. But they had a lot of different types of games. They had candy sushi, make your own Pokemon cards. That would be awesome. Pokemon, like I said, Pokemon is fun. You could have a Pokemon day at your library where you just set up the space and let kids and tweens come in and exchange cards. All you're doing is setting up tables and maybe some coloring pages for younger kids who attend. Um, they had so there's another idea for you. Um, so they had county conservation, they had a magician, choose your own adventure, and make your own board game. Great activities. Wall Lake Public Library. This is size B. This is all of their activities. They had preschool story times. They had Jeff Quinn the magician. Uh, Sue looks like Sac County naturalist. So these are just some different ideas of things you could do. With your summer reading logs or your challenge sheets, however you call it, for older kids, excuse me, you could offer a mix of learning activities and reading if you choose to. You could do that, or you could just have it where they color in a circle for every 20 minutes that they read and they turn it in for a prize. So you could do a mixed bag of different things. Keep it simple. Summer's a busy time. Your staff is tired. You might be the one person running the library. You're tired. If you have staff members are tired, but you got to keep everything simple because if you're explaining the program, you want to make sure your staff are know how to explain the program as well. So keep it simple for everyone, especially your families too. And don't reinvent the wheel. If someone's already created materials, don't reinvent it. Just keep everything simple. So, for example, this is North Liberty Public Library's reading log from last year. So, this was for 0 to 18 or adult. So, at the top, they put their name, phone, email, mark if they're 0 to 18, and they had a circle prize drawing to enter for your age group. So, they had different types of baskets that they offered. Ooh, they had different types of baskets that they offered as prizes for kids, teens, and adults. And then this was their reading log. So very simple. They color in a dragon egg for every 20 minutes they read. So it could be as simple as that. Really quickly, I want to talk about your kids, from kids to teens, and building the core group because I'm seeing in here that it's hard to grab them, and I totally get it. Best practice. Start with the kids you do see at the library. Building this relationship takes time. Building a core group of regular kids and teens that come to the library, it takes time. So get to know the kids who are attending your programs. That picture in the corner, that's Riley. Riley was one of my tweens turned into teens at Mount Pleasant. And he had a younger brother named Bodie. They were great. They came to every program, and I was really sad to leave because you're leaving families behind and such. But I got to know him. I got to know Bodie. I got to know a lot of the kids. I would ask them, what do they like to watch? What do you like to read? What kind of programs do you want to see? What kinds of programs do you want to do at the library? You got to grab that fact finding and get that info from the kids, especially the ones that are coming to the library. So start with those kiddos. Offer programs at a consistent day and time. Why do I say that? Doing this, it builds a routine. It's a routine for the kids and it's a routine for families. They know, oh, wow. Yep, we got to hurry up because at 2:30 we got Lego Club. 2:30 every Tuesday. So offer your programs at a consistent day and time to build that routine, build that rapport, and build that relationship. Be aware who's coming to your programs. Are you seeing the same kids? Are you seeing the same tweens? Are you seeing the same families? Be aware of that and make the effort to start that conversation and talk to them and get to know them. And if you have homeschool families, talk to your homeschool families. Ask them what their needs are. What would they like to see at the library? What would their kids like to see for programming at the library? Belicia, you said you're asking, does the iREAD guide have a page with a template for a reading log? Yes, it does. I don't know the page offhand, but there is a template for a reading log. That's a great question. Thank you. I think it's in the programming, but don't quote me. With building your core group, please realize this takes time. Rome was not built in a day. This takes time and it takes a lot of just getting to know people. Um, it's like it's like a triangle. So you start at the bottom, you're building rapport, you're establishing relationships, you're getting to know the kids, you're building trust with them. So build that rapport. And while you do that, you offer consistent programming. Again, keep those programs consistent because it's going to build routine. It's going to build routine with the families. And then your kids and tweens will start to look forward to those programs. Another best practice is to be visible in the school and the community. Um, when you visit the school, it helps develop relations between you and the school, and the kids are excited to see you. They look forward to seeing you. It's kind of funny when I would walk into a classroom and the kids are always happy to see me when I would read stories for story time, whether it was a preschool classroom or the first grade classroom or the third grade classroom. So being visible in the school also helps. So you're building up all of this relationships through your programming, rapport, you're getting to know families, you're getting to know the kids and the tweens. That builds up to having teens in the library. So, and if you do have some teens to volunteer, best practice is to have ages 12 to 18 to have teens volunteer. If they're 11 and a half, okay, but look to your policy as well for volunteers also on the age ranges for teens. Another best practice is to meet them where they are. Meet them where they are. Ask the middle school librarian or the English teachers if you can visit their classrooms. I did that for summer reading to promote summer reading. If I couldn't get into their classroom, I had a table in the cafeteria. Have a table in the cafeteria during the lunch breaks to talk about summer reading and library programs. Maybe you have some candy. Maybe you have a STEM activity that they can see, and you can talk to them about what they like to read and what they would want to see at the library. The biggest thing is just to be visible and present. So that way, kids and tweens get to know you and who you are and what you're about. And yes, National Pokemon Day is around the corner, Valerie. Yes. So we're going to talk about partnership opportunities and donations. Partnering is big. Partner with other people in your community because you get to know your community better. Make sure you do that. It lowers costs on your performers and presenters when you partner with another partner in your community. You're allowing community members ways to show their talents or gifts. What a great way to do that by partnering and putting on a program at your library. And the cool thing about partnering with others is that other partners can refer you to other potential partners for programming. And there's long-term benefits to this. You're building rapport with your community, and other partners see the library as a great partner to work with. I mean, when an organization is planning a big event and they say, "Well, who else can we get to help us?" I know, the library. So there are benefits to partnering with others in your community. Best practice, partner with your nearby libraries. Um, this is, and Joy Metzger's in here, in the room. Kasuth County, they had a level up at county camp. This was an event geared for K through fifth grades. And it was at the Water's Edge Nature Center and Algona, West Bend, Whitmore Public Libraries. Joy, am I forgetting a library? I hope I'm not, but these libraries pooled their resources together to put on a program for kids for K through fifth grades, and they rotated through activity stations. They had Minute to Win It challenges. They walked a nature trail with I think it was a local science teacher, I think. They had a puzzle art project, marble run from ISU Extension, and they had pizza, water, and cookies for lunch. Joyce said there were 11 libraries in the county, yes, and they all take part. So partner with your nearby libraries. Put your resources together to have a really cool program and engagement that kids can remember. This was super duper fun. And they also had ISU Extension come and make pool marble noodles with the kids. Um, Another example, Churdan Public Library, their size A. They held a pool party for 5th through 12th grades. Um, Oh, 12 libraries, counting Whitmore. Thank you, Sandy. This event was sponsored by the Greene County Librarians Association and the Greene County Board of Supervisors. Again, all these libraries came together because they knew this would be fun for the teens in their community and tweens. And so they put their resources together and held a pool party for those students. Contact your local organizations, ISU Extension and Outreach. They have adult programs, master gardeners, planning programs, canning, preservation programs, kids programs. They have a 4-H Clover Kids program. They have a Lego club. They have Kids in the Kitchen, which is a cooking program, and they would bring out simple recipes that kids and adults could make together. That was a 4-week program, if memory serves me right. Iowa Farm Bureau, they have outreach education that you could contact to have them come out to your library. Iowa Agricultural Literacy Foundation, they have a section on their website where you can request a guest speaker to come to your library, and it's free. And they have all different types of topics that would be perfect for this year's summer reading theme. Again, that's Iowa Agriculture Literacy Foundation. So if you type that in, it'll take you to their website, and like on the right, it says click for request a guest speaker. Tap into your local businesses. Think if can any of these businesses conduct a demonstration or a program for your library? Think about your feed supply stores, bakery, local chef. Could they do a cooking program? Your florist, could they do a planting program or plant program? Grocery stores, they now have dietitians. Could they do a healthy eating class for kids or tweens or adults? Coffee shops, maybe they do a coffee brewing program for tweens and adults. Sewing, seamstress. Do you have a seamstress in your town that could do a basic sewing skills program? Antiquing for adults, antique stores. Could they do a program for adults? Local community camp or local community theater. Could they do a theater camp with your kids? The co-op, hardware store, the hardware store. What if they could do a woodworking one-on-one program and a music shop? If they have instruments, could they have a petting zoo in it? Could they have an instrument petting zoo where the kids are learning how the cello or a violin is played or a trombone? Um, it ask. The worst they could say is no, or they can point you to someone that can. Ooh, they're going to have a tractor farming equipment store for out and about story time in Orange City. That's great. Felicia says she has a health fitness shop that sells protein shakes and they show up at school sports events. Yes, absolutely. Tap into your community's talents. Who do you know that has a special skill or talent that you know of? Do you know an apple orchard owner that they could talk about different types of apples? Local weather meteorologists like KCCI. I see Jason Sudeiko. He's gone to different places to talk to kids about the weather and climate change and so forth, or different types of climates. Maybe talk to the meteorologists, see if they could come to your library for a program. Audubon Society, talking about birds, wildlife, or plants. Maybe if you know a musician or a band teacher or a local artist. Maybe you start a get to know series where the kids or adults get to know your police chief or a detective, a fire chief or an EMT, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. Other quick ideas for partnerships, contact your conservation group. Maybe you have a local teacher or artist come. Maybe they do an art program for you at the library. If you know a local author, if you know a local author, ask them if they'd be willing to talk about their book. Contact a local farmer, especially for this theme. Ask if they can talk about their job and show off their tractor for a Touch a Tractor program. And if they have a tractor, maybe you host that farmer and the tractor at the local park for parking or at the fairgrounds, the county fairgrounds. I've always wanted to do that program, so that's why I'm like, ooh, I hope somebody does the Touch a Tractor program. And donations. I'm looking at time. I'm donations, best practice. I see a lot of you doing this, but I'm going to reiterate it. Use social media to request donations. There's a picture to your left, Erickson Public Library. They had asked for craft donations, and so they asked for specific things like yarn, scrapbooking, silk flowers, and they just had anybody that had those donations bring them to the desk. Lacona Public Library, they asked for, let's see, they asked for toilet paper, paper towel tubes for an event in February. So put the request out there. People have stuff. If you don't let them know, tell them what you need. Um, so I've used the newspaper to request Legos for my Lego club in Mount Pleasant. And I gotta tell you, I had tubs of Legos that kids no longer played with because their kids were old and grown up. And I used those donated Legos for a Lego club. So state what you need. And yes, if you have a touch attractor, let me know. I'd be more than happy to come, Victoria. Create an Amazon wish list. I see teachers do this, but I'm also seeing librarians do this too. Mount Pleasant Public Library, their children's department, they put out things that they need for their summer reading programs. Oxford Public Library, they also did this too, and they have a link to their wish list. That's something that you could do or consider is to create an Amazon wish list. This was Hampton County Library in South Carolina. They have a donations page and they asked for, this is just an example of different things that they asked for. They asked for recycled materials for an art project. Really quickly, some tips for crafting letters for donations. Um, to your left is this is a program sheet about the summer reading program that I created for Mount Pleasant because I knew we needed books. I knew we needed more books for summer reading. We had just revamped the children's library at that time, and I anticipated more kids registering. or the year before, we had 304 kids register, 61 teens, and 60 babies. So I wrote a letter to all the businesses in town asking for donations, and I put together a program sheet about the summer reading program to explain the goals of the program, what the impact would be, how the project would benefit the community, and I added a program calendar. So some tips for you: add a program sheet that tells about these specific things in your library, your goals, your activities offered, population served. How will this impact your kids in your community? And how will the project benefit the community? And how a business can help? Spell out what you need. Spell out the quantity, what you need. Because if they don't know how much to get to you, they don't know. They can't do anything. Um, I raised $500 my first year as a youth librarian, which not too shabby. Um, so, couple things. Use Google Gemini to tweak up your letter. It's a good, it's good to use as a starting point for creating letters and just to tweak up your sentences. Um, it's helpful in that way. And again, add the program sheet about your summer reading program and a program calendar. Um, I will have this in my slides on Workday Learning as well, so you'll get to see what I wrote. I also put a link to a sample donation letter as well, because I couldn't find the one that I wrote in 2011, 2012. So yes, some grant ideas, because I know budgets are tight. These are a couple of grant ideas I found. Dollar General, they have a summer reading grant. The deadline to apply is February 5th. There's the link to the Dollar General Summer Reading Literacy Foundation grant, because I know there's a Dollar General in every town. Better World Books is a bookstore, but they also have literacy grants. Their 2026 application opens January 26th. Take a peek, see if it's something that your library could possibly go for. And just some parting thoughts: make summer reading your own. Create a program that works for you and your community, so that way everyone is engaged and involved. Use the resource guide to plan, use it as a starting point to plan. Know your community's interests and plan events tailored to their interests. And reach out to your potential partners. Don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can say is no. And you've got this. I put some articles for further review, and I also found, and I'm going to add this too, uh, these are tips, party tip, or it's like summer reading tips for small budgets. It's from 2015, but I added that also in there as well. Um, so that way you can take a peek at that as well. But take a peek at all of these resources. They have good tips, money saving tips for programs at your library. Congrats for the Prize-a-Palooza All About Summer Reading Prize webinar. I gave away 2 prize packs for that webinar. So congrats to Kelly from Vinton Public Library and Dylan Davidson of Nevada Public Library. And upcoming events, don't forget, we've got iLock on Thursday, January 29th. Events are held all day. The theme is worth celebrating, and you can learn more on the State Library's website and get the complete schedule. All iREAD's Exploring the Shortlist is going to be February 10th from 11 a.m. to noon. We're going to talk about all the shortlists for kids, teens, and adults. And the next PopYS Live will be about strategies for an adaptable and accessible summer reading program on February 11th. That's going to be with Denise Bean, the youth librarian from the Iowa Department of the Blind and Print Disabled. She's got a dynamite presentation, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say and to have you guys enjoy it. Monday, February 16th is office hours for summer reading from 1:30 to 2:30. The registration link is on the State Library Summer Library Program webpage. And mark your calendars. Summer reading summits are coming back. These are all the dates, and they'll be from 9:30 to 12:30 at these libraries. We will open registration in the next couple of weeks in late January, so stay tuned because it's going to be a fun summer reading summit. And PopYS Con, we are looking for people to speak about PopYS Con for 2026. If you're interested, ask me. I can get you an application. But We're looking for presenters to present for this year's PopYS Con virtually. These are the topics we're looking for. So if you are passionate to speak about a program that you're doing for kids and teens, submit a proposal. Or if you have questions, email me and I'll talk you through it. And that is all I have. And I'm sorry I went over time, um, but I wanted to make sure I got all this info to you. So I just want to say thank you guys so much.